Yo, what's up, everybody, man? We are back.
Yes.
2025 Faithful Grind Pod. I wish everybody a happy new year and looking forward to the things that God has in store for us this year. I'm here with my ride or die, my roadie, my partner in life ministry, and on the pod. What's up, Abe?
What's up, y'all?
How you, man?
Hungry.
Yeah, already.
Hungry.
Already, it's almost lunchtime. I guess it's a little after lunch today as we're recording, which is weird because we just timestamped the podcast and people aren't gonna watch or listen to
In real time. It's okay.
But it's all good, man.
It's okay.
We made it.
Yeah.
It's like the 16th New Year that we brought in together.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was a young man. You're the wife of my youth. Yeah. So
You had locks.
I had locks. I did.
Now I have locks.
You didn't have locks.
I didn't have them.
Yeah. So it is. We traded. we traded, and but which is dope, and I'm grateful. I was in the beginning of my lock journey.
Yeah.
When we
You had a little length.
I had a little length. Had a little bit of hang time.
Yeah, like where
I
your
had got through
sons
my
are.
ugly phase.
Yes.
Yeah, so you didn't have to roll with that. I was able to get a little bit of a ponytail. I was able to pull it back.
You was able to pull it back, get the little barrels a little bit.
Yeah, all that. So it's been a journey, and I was telling you, New Year's Eve, like, is of those years only one
we spent apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it's been a dope journey.
Yes.
The last quarter of 2024.
I was happy to see that John go.
Bruh. And I feel like the beginning 3 quarters of the year were decent. They were solid. They weren't overly... Well, I mean, life was life.
I was about to say, we had some challenges.
We did. I'm tripping. It was. But it seemed to kind of settle a little bit in the summer.
It did.
At least in my mind. But I guess that was just a reprieve for what
we had
God
gone
had
through and
store.
accomplished. Yeah.
And
the kids had graduated high school.
We got through high school. Man, I'm
that
tripping,
was big.
man.
You
that
understand
was
what
major.
I'm saying?
Yeah, 24 wasn't no.
Right.
It was a big year, man. The oldest graduated from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Started
college in 24.
24.
Middle
the baby girl. I guess she's not the baby no more.
No more. We got Kayla.
Yeah, so Chrislyn
finished middle school,
started high school.
Yep.
So yeah, it was kind of a transitional year. And then the last quarter of the year, itinerant ministry kicked up.
Oh,
like
out of nowhere.
It kind of went crazy. Don't say the same thing I say. We were blessed, man. We were able to go and share the gospel in a number of places, a number of states. And
had some road trips.
It was some road trips.
With
got
the
to
family.
Take the kids. Got to take you.
Yeah.
We got to go, just me and you.
Yep.
So we really are grateful. Man, I think about 2024 and, just like thank you to all of the churches and ministries that invited us to share. The Lord was really kind in that regard. Had the privilege of sharing in a number of very significant churches in my personal life, and always counted a privilege to be invited somewhere to share, but places that had historical significance for me, you know, and so that was
major.
That was major,
humbling and sobering at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So having those opportunities and the Lord opening those doors was pretty dope. It was also a hard season for us, in addition to the Lord opening those doors and kind of stretching us.
Yeah.
In terms of just trying to manage life and kids' schedule, ministry assignments, and external preaching assignments. Life stretched us, man. I lost patriarch of my family, of our family, and that was tough.
Absolutely.
It was challenging, and you know, whenever you see people or you know, people who you love are going through things that you can't, there's nothing you can do other than, you know, be there, be supportive. It's really hard, and our sibling cousins, as we watch them lovingly care for their dad, and it was really tough. It was a tough season, and that was happening as we were beginning the pod, as we were aiming to, you know, to do a couple of episodes a month, and you know, and at some point in the process, in the latter part of November, it became obvious that some of the things that we aimed to do, we kind of had to readjust. We couldn't do that, you know, and be present, both for our family and our loved ones, but even for ourselves in the moment. And so we had to kind of make hard decisions. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, the options when you're in that situation, kind of what we wade through.
Definitely. I think for us, there was kind of like a natural, it's not like we had a discussion about what we were going to do or where we landed. We just kind of fell into the groove of things. But when life is lifing and you find yourself having certain commitments or obligations or whatever goals for yourself or what have you, you find yourself or I find myself, I'll speak for myself, facing three different options. One, you look at it and you can say, okay, I'm just going to quit, right? Because life is too much right now. So, and sometimes we make it super spiritual. Well, this must be a sign from the Lord that this was not my season or my time to do this particular thing. That the Lord has divinely shut the door, right? And it can be all or nothing for us. And then we abandon it. We walk away. So for us, that would have looked like shut down the podcast. Maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe we won't. Maybe we jumped out there prematurely, right? The other option, which is one of two faithful grind options. One is to go full throttle, to say, nope, we made this commitment. Yes, life is lifing, but we made this commitment. We put it on the schedule. We have our, you know, recording sessions on the calendar. We're going to commit to that. And you push through despite what your soul, your family, your community is longing for and needs, you know, needs from you. That's one option for faithful grind. And then the last option, which is what we naturally gravitated towards, was to continue to grind faithfully, but it looked different. So instead of grinding faithfully as it pertains to the pod and showing up, we pivoted, took a pause from that in order to show up for one another, to show up for our family, and to give our souls what it needed in the moment. So that's what the faithful grind looked like to us. And then after taking a second to catch our breath, not that we're done navigating grief, we're still very much in the throes of it, but we've regrouped enough to step back into the seat, so to speak, right? And then continue the work that we set out to do. And I think that's more of a realistic approach that we should take. It doesn't have to be all in or all out. You know, like take the break. You might need to take the break, but you also need to be disciplined enough to return. And sometimes we aren't because we don't have it within ourselves or within our community. There aren't people who are like, yeah, go. You think, you know, what do you think? Maybe it's time to pick that project back up. Maybe it's time to get back in the saddle, so to speak. So it does take a level of discipline and commitment. But I think if you keep in the forefront or maybe in the background of your mind what your goal is, what your calling is, you know, what this faithful grind thing looks like to you, as long as you don't look sight of it, it's okay to slow down. Yeah. It's okay to pivot for a minute. It's okay to take a moment to catch your breath. Yeah. Just don't let that be your destination. Right. Because I have seen people do that as well. You know, I can't say that I don't know that I've done that in my life because I have pushers. I'm surrounded by pushers, right. And I talk a lot. So I tell people, not the whole world, right? But I do. Like I tell you, I tell my sisters, I'll tell my children, this is what I want to do. So when I fall off, there are people who are like, hey, what happened to that? Happened to this? Especially because I also have a bit of ADHD, so I'll jump in a whole new project full throttle. Yes, you will. And it's like, wait. Yeah. What happened to that? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I get reminded of that. So that helps me. Yeah. So that's another tip. Sometimes we just got to get new people. Yeah. You know? We need people that'll hold us accountable. You need people that'll hold you accountable and pushers. Lovingly push. Yeah. Not in a way that's like oppressive and you want to punch them in the face. You know? Yeah. So that's been like our story the last quarter of the year. Yeah. And so many, and we're talking about the engagements, the preaching engagements, and assignments around the country that God opened for us. And there were moments in almost all of them, particularly in November and December, where when they were approaching, we were like, man, maybe we need to cancel. Like maybe we need to reach out and see if we can reschedule. You know, because of all of the everything that was going on. And I think that's a word, or could be a word of encouragement to somebody who's listening, who says, man, I had these goals, I have this ambition, I had these things that I put on my to-do list, and life wasn't cooperating. And I was feeling like I was in the tension of, I know I want to do this, but I need to do this, or I can't do this now, or the money is funny, or the job situation is shaky. To be able to reassess, you know, to pause, to not continue your pursuit or your goals or what's in front of you. At the expense. You know, of yourself, of your peace, of your sanity. You know what I mean? Of being present in relationships that are valuable and important to you, you know? And being present in your relationship with the Lord. One of the things that I think has blown, you know, has kind of been a difficulty through the course of my life and my spiritual development is that sometimes my busyness gets in the way of my being with the Lord and being able to be present with the Lord. And I think that, you know, when we think about a faithful grind, like it's not just a grind, right? Like faithful is important. Like being connected to the source is important. Mark 3:14-15, Jesus calls the disciples but before he sends them out, he's like, I called them to be with me. And sometimes life gets in the way of our being with the Lord. And it's in our being with the Lord that we get what we need to have stamina for what's in front of us. To have wisdom with how to navigate it. There you go. Right? Like, so if I'm not spending time with the Lord, I'll spin my wheels. That's it. Just trying to figure, this is what I think I should do. Exactly. And so sometimes, man, life will give you that season. And I think life in a way for us that caused us to need to slow down. Absolutely. To be present, to be there for and with our family, to be with the Lord in new ways. I think one of the unique things that grief does is it reminds us of our inability to fix what hurts, right? Because, you know, in grief, in any kind of grief, but particularly losing a loved one, the only balm for my wound is to have my loved one back. Yes. You know, and so when you come to grips with the fact that the one thing that would fix it, that would help me not feel what I feel, is an impossibility. It's beyond my reach. What do you do with that? The only place I've found that I can go is to the one who can do impossible things. The one who can wrap his arms around us and promises that I'll be with you in it, right? That it might not change, the circumstance won't change, right? But I'll step in it with you, right? I'll come into the fire with you, and I think that's a lesson for us. That sometimes we run to try to fix, but the reality is
the only answer. You know, the old song, Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him, there's no other. There's no other option.
That's right.
Jesus is the way. And so, you know, I think that was really the reality for us over the last few weeks. So Christmas felt different.
Absolutely.
You know, while it was joyful, we got to celebrate with our family.
It was still
it
heavy.
was different.
It was different.
It felt different.
Yep.
Worship.
Yep.
The last couple of weeks of the year, where we are generally exuberant, and you know, all of the feels of the holiday were different. I think one of the ways you coped is that you went off with decorations.
Bananas.
I mean, every area of the crib. I mean, it was unbelievable. It's still unbelievable, and we're in the new year now, and so I mean, I might as well get you on the record. When are we starting that process? Yeah, we got it now, because you know, okay. All right, we're not gonna resolve that today. But I mean, that was one of the ways, right?
Yeah.
The way to cope.
That was an outlet for me. Like, I had to do something physically, do something with my hands and to engage my brain and something else. To avoid sinking into the abyss of sorrow.
No, I get it.
And
I get it. But we wanted to, you know, at least begin our conversation by kind of exposing the real, right? So we had, you know, we got a baby who is 2.
Yes.
And this was the first year that she kind of really understood or felt like she was excited about the Christmas. Look at the Christmas tree and all of those things. So there was joy that was there. There was a heaviness that carried through as we, you know, we navigated. And our grief was, you know, obviously was heavy and is heavy. But in addition to that, we pastor. And so in addition to our family's loss, there were other families around us that were going through. And so we're serving. You know, I think I served in 4 funerals in the last 3 weeks of December. You know, so that was real. That happened in real life. And so in addition to what we're going through, other people are going through. Other people are wrestling with their feelings. And so, man, I wanted to just begin today by saying it's okay to not be okay.
To not be okay.
It's okay to be like, hey, this was tough. And I want to let people off the hook to think that my spiritual journey shouldn't include suffering. It shouldn't include, because the reality is we don't know as much as we could know about the Lord without going through suffering. It's only in our suffering that we find out that he can give us peace that surpasses understanding. In times of you know, joy and happiness, we don't have a difficulty understanding peace. But the only time we can understand peace that surpasses understanding
is when you're going through. That's the truth.
And it shouldn't be peace.
Wow.
To come to a place where I can trust God in the middle of challenge. And so I want to encourage somebody today that whatever life looks like for you, good, bad, ups, downs, the faithful grind is carried by a faithful God who shows up in the hardest seasons of our life. Paul says, and he writes to the church of Philippi, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. But he wasn't talking about doing things that make me happy. He wasn't talking about finishing my degree. He wasn't talking about getting a new job. He was talking about going to bed hungry. He was talking about not having enough. Suffering. He said, I learned to abase and to abound. I've learned to have plenty, but I've also learned to not have enough. And it's in the not have enough season that Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
I love that.
That's good. Hey family, it is Pastor Chris here, and I'm super excited to invite you to be a part of an incredible opportunity that my father, Dr. James Bettner, and I have brought here to South Jersey. We're excited about announcing that we will be bringing Dr. Joel Gregory and the Proclaimers Place program right here to Willingboro, New Jersey, man. We want you and your ministry leaders to be a part of this great opportunity, man, beginning on Tuesday, March the 25th through Friday, March the 28th. Each day, we will gather together and dive into the word of the Lord to develop good and practical tools for our preaching experience, that we might hone our craft in a way that would be transformative to the hearers. Man, we're excited about bringing this life-changing opportunity. This renowned Proclaimers Place has traveled all over the world, raising up men and women that they might be sharpened in their tools to share the glorious gospel of Jesus Christ. And we wanted to bring it right here into South Jersey. And we want to invite you and your team to be a part of this incredible 4 days of practical hands-on instruction with the renowned Dr. Joel Gregory. Man, we're excited. You can be a part. We want to make it easy and accessible to everyone. What a profound gift to the body of Christ Dr. Joel Gregory is, and he has consented to be with us this week. And we want to invite you and your team to be a part of these practical sessions where we can hone our exegetical prowess, that we can work together, that we make sure that our presentation of the gospel is sound in its application, sound in its contextualization, and give everyone tools that they can leave as better preachers and proclaimers. Share the information. We're excited about this opportunity to work together, that we might advance the mission of God and the kingdom of God here in South Jersey and the Delaware Valley area.
The investment for this powerful experience is $500 per person, and we're excited to offer a payment plan to make it accessible to all. To sign up, go to www.rightwhereyouare.com/Proclaimers Place. Don't miss this chance to grow with Proclaimers Place, and we look forward to seeing you there.
You want to talk to the people at all?
No.
No?
I don't want to talk to people.
Okay. Well, what does that say?
What's that say?
It says, faithful grind.
Yeah.
Grind faithfully, y'all.
Put it together.